10 years ago, I unexpectedly and unceremoniously left Maui, where I had lived and settled in since the summer of 2009. This past summer, my wife and I had our wedding ceremony on August 8th to honor the Hawaiian area code of 808 and to commemorate how important my time on the island has been in my life since I left. The next day, we embarked on our honeymoon to Maui. I hadn't been back since I left in summer 2011. All right, so I'm in the Richmond airport, headed to Denver. It's day one of 10 years since I've been to the island, and I'm excited. I'm feeling good, better than I thought that I would after all this time. So stay tuned, we got more coming. I last saw the island through an airplane window. It was unreal actually seeing it from the air again after so long. Just got off the plane and it's been 10 years. 10 years. Can't believe it. And everything, it just feels so familiar and everything, it's like it hasn't changed. I've been playing it over in my mind like thousands of times since I left, how I would react to like seeing the islands again and being here again. And I imagine myself like falling to the ground, weeping, and all sorts of other dramatic behavior, but I'm just so excited, ecstatic to be here. There's Iao right there. We're gonna go there. Hell yeah. All right, we're gonna go check in, get the car. Here we are at our condo for the week. This is near the Kamaole beaches in Kihei. You can see here, I'll change the brightness so you can see the ocean better. Yep, there she is. Showing you the lanai and from the beach, but I haven't showed the actual condo yet, so here it is. Super cute, little one bedroom. Not expected to have time to watch TV this week because we're going to be too busy watching that. But yeah, this place is amazing. It's right on the water. It's immaculate. So cozy. Love it. So here's a view from the other side. The sun will rise over here. That's Haleakala on the other side. 10,000 foot dormant volcano. And there's some fun shopping and things down at the Kamaole Center. Well, my little gecko friends are everywhere. Very elusive. They don't like me, but they're hopping. Thought it was just a couple, but then as I moved, they like all this movement on the ground, and then there's little geckos. Where are you? Can't even see you on the rocks. There you are. Hello, gecko. I was used to seeing them at night, getting the insects off the screens. And our cat Mosley, God rest her soul, would jump up on the window and like grab onto the screen or latch onto the screen, and then like slide down it and put these like Wolverine claw marks in the screen just from trying to get the geckos. Of course, she never got them because they're way too fast and they can climb on any surface. Speaking of speedy local wildlife, as I expected, chickens were still literally everywhere. Come follow me, come follow apologize, but I am going to say a lot in this video that it's been 10 years since I've done, or 10 years since I've seen something, because it has. And I'm super giddy about all the things that I haven't got to experience for 10 years. Case in point, I just got out of the South Pacific Ocean for the first time in 10 years. I forgot how warm it is out there. I forgot how smooth and soft the sand is. So it's like, what, 2:30 back east? I don't know. I'm brain dead. Gotta go get some rest because we got a lot to do this week. So now I'm gonna go to sleep to the sounds of this. So not with lack of trying, but we weren't able to go back to sleep after waking up at 4. So looks like the sun is on the rise. This is Haleakala from the front of our condo. And we're gonna hang out and see if we can get it coming over the mountain. Definitely getting brighter. No sign of the sun yet, other than the light. While we're waiting for the sun to rise on the other side of the island, here's Maui at 5 o'clock and, what is it, 5:30 in the morning? South Shore at least. Okay, finally, here comes the sun. That morning, as we hung out and enjoyed our little beach, I was reminded how unique the island bird song is. The morning paddler watching is always fun. I used to see these kind of folks on a daily bike ride to work. South Pacific sand crabs. What you doing, little buddy? So I've gotten some views from the lanai on the condo, but now we're down at our little beach. So here's the condo from the beach. We're on the second floor up there. Here's the beach. And what you can see from here, from our little beach, that's the West Maui Mountains over there on the west side. Across the way, Lanai, the island of Lanai. And then over here to the south are 2 little islands. Right there, that little semicircle is Molokini, which was a volcanic cone that half of it fell in. And so it's just a semicircle of a volcanic crater cone, and it's got its own little reef out there that's isolated and is amazing. And then this right here, this island is Ka'aho'olawe, was a former military and munitions testing ground. And then down south a little bit more, that's another kind of volcanic cone at the base of Haleakala. This water is so warm. I'm looking right into the sun, but it's about 7 o'clock? Yeah, about 7 o'clock in the morning. One thing that I realized after I left 10 years ago was that I lived right across from the ocean, and days would go by sometimes where I wouldn't even think to get in. So I'm gonna make it a point to get in, take a dip to start the day every day. A little Mother Ocean aloha. So we tried to go for breakfast at the Triangle this morning, which is like a cluster of bars and cafes and shopping and stuff like that. And I've never seen so many people. Like, there was a line all the way out in the parking lot from the Kihei cafe where I used to be able to just walk in and get breakfast. So that is definitely one thing that's changed in the 10 years, even though like all the natural stuff looks just like I left it. Like the man-made stuff, especially the amount of people, has really increased. And I'm sure some of that's due to like the bottleneck of COVID, where everybody's trying to get here, get their reservations in, and whatever, you know, from not having them last summer. But still, there's definitely a huge increase of people. And you can tell there's also like competing. Like there was just a Home Depot when I was here 10 years ago. Now there's like a Home Depot and a Lowe's, and there was just a Walmart, but now there's a Walmart and a Target. So stuff like that. But I mean, it's good. It means that there's you know, an economic growth and stuff like that. But I just can't believe the amount of people that are you know, like clogging up Kihei right now. So we'll try to find more local digs elsewhere, I guess. Later on, we headed north through the valley. The West Maui Mountains were almost completely shrouded by cloud cover that day. This area was predominantly sugarcane crop when I lived here last. The old sugarcane plant is now abandoned. Our destination that afternoon was I'au Valley, just behind the town of Wailuku. And we thought we'd come up to I'au, but of course I didn't check to see what time the park closes, but it's closed. Oh well, because you can still see the magnificent peaks of the I'au Valley here, but it's also raining, and I'm glad I get to show my wife the diversity of the microclimates here, because where we just left Kihei was hot and sunny. I don't know if it's going to show up, but there's this crazy beautiful gigantic waterfall, but it's right there. It goes all the way up there to that cloud line. The next day, we had a dinner cruise booked out of Lahaina Harbor, so we made a day out of the west side of the island. So we're just coming over a ridge on the West Maui Mountains from the bottom. That's Lahaina Harbor down there. So we take boats out to go over there, like a little crescent, Molokini. There's Haleakala. Man, the wind almost blew the phone out of my hand. And then there's Ka'aho'olawe. And there's my beautiful queen. Alright, here at Black Rock in Ka'anapali Resort, which is over there. It's one of the most popular resorts on the west side. But I always heard about Black Rock when I was living here, and I never did it because I went to Waimea Bay in Oahu and did the rock there, and I heard that that was bigger and better, so I just never made the effort. But now I'm here and I got to do it, so I'm gonna swim and snorkel out that way. I'm gonna get on the rock and jump off. Stay tuned for separate videos about cliff jumping and snorkeling here. After Black Rock, we hung out in Lahaina town for a bit. And then we headed out on the water for our sunset dinner cruise. Just rented a sup right there. Gonna go take it out there, and maybe we'll go over the reef and see what we can see. When I lived here 10 years ago, I hadn't heard about supping before, and I saw people doing it, and I was like, what is that? I hadn't heard about it back east at all, but then when I moved back, everybody was doing it. It's like ubiquitous thing all over the place now, apparently. I've heard of like sub companies starting up in Europe and in Asia and everything. So, but I only did it like a couple times very badly when I first learned about it here in Hawaii in like 2010. And I just found it really difficult because I just wasn't used to that kind of sport. I was used to sideways boarding, not facing forward and trying to balance, and the ocean chop was too much. But now that I've been doing it on flat water for a while, I'm gonna try it out again out here, so we'll see how we do. Stay tuned for future videos about my return to ocean stand-up paddleboarding and snorkeling. After some morning ocean time, we headed south to see the southern lava flow and Perouse Bay. At La Perouse, one of my favorite places on earth, just because of the lava flow that came down from Haleakala up there, created this whole black rock, black sand, lava rock beach. The stark contrast between the bright blue ocean and the black beach is just like mind-blowing. And a lava flow that just stretches on for miles and miles in every direction. So otherworldly and beautiful. Oh, there's another, you see that like bottom feeder over there? Oh, there's tons of stuff. Whoa. Baby, look at this. It looks just like a rock. It's another hermit crab. What you doing, buddy?
Hi.
There's another one. Look at this guy. I love how they're black like the rock. I wonder if that's an adaptation. Oh, there's another one right there. No fishies. Headed into Big Beach at McKenna State Park. I always love all the deserty landscape, fauna and flora.
All of our clothes, all of the hours want to fall away, so love let them slide.
This is Big Beach. And there's Ka'aho'olave over there. We're headed over this way.
Got what I need, and baby, you know it. So don't make me work too hard tonight. I don't care who else is calling, the plans we broke, or who else knows it. 'Cause all my skin is burning from the heat.
On the way back from Big Beach, we stopped at a roadside stand and picked up a magnificent, locally hand-carved honu. That's Hawaiian for turtle.
Got to just take it slow, so we can stay high, stay high, stay high.
And some fresh coconuts.
Yeah, got to just take it slow, so we can stay high, stay high, stay high. Up on the sand, out in the water.
The next day, we spent the morning lounging because we knew we had a big night ahead of us. We heard there was a major meteor shower happening, and we thought we'd try to see it from the peak of Haleakala that night.
Braver than we ever could be yesterday. The night brings out with storms and laughter, and when you smile, my blood burns faster. All we know are moments in the still of the night. Yeah, got to just take it slow. We can stay high, stay high.
We didn't end up seeing as many shooting or falling stars as we hoped, but the evening was spectacular nonetheless, especially since I had previously only been atop Haleakala during the day when I lived here last, to hike and to show visitors the mind-blowing landscape and views.
Baby, it just doesn't matter.
So we're 6,500? 6,000 something feet up, and the air is like, it's at least like 20, 25 degrees cooler. You can see the summit and the observatory right there.
If we never find a way.
But before we get up there to the summit, we have to go through all these switchbacks.
Cause being consumed by this moment, all we have to do is begin.
or the visitor center. The summit is up there, but this is where the parking lot is. And the crater, we're gonna go see the crater. We're above the cloud line up here. The sun just set over Haleakala. It's about 50 degrees, but it's a beautiful clear sky. See a meteor shower tonight. It's so dark now. The crater, Haleakala crater right behind me, you can't even see it. I've never been up here this time of night. It's still gorgeous. So according to our Stargazer app, that is Jupiter, that is Saturn, and that is Venus. Alright, it's super faint, but apparently that's Mars down in the lower right. So we're headed back up to Wailuku town to get tattoos from an old friend. And on the way, we're gonna pass by the Queen Ka'ahumanu shopping mall. It's like the big mall on the island. And I used to work at the Hot Topic in there just for fun and for some extra cash when I was living on the island. And my boss is the woman that is going to tattoo us today. We'll go meet her in a minute. This is the MAPA, the Maui Academy of Performing Arts, yeah. Saw some concerts, some bands came through. I saw the musical rendition of The Wedding Singer here. It's like a touring musical group. So this is Old Town Wailuku. This is my beautiful wife. This is Market Street, where a lot of the good businesses and shops are. Over here, the Request Music. It's the last remaining music store, like CDs and DVDs, and you know, it's like you can buy, sell, and trade CDs. I can't believe they're still doing it in this day and age, because they were here 10 years ago. Oh, there's a poster for the Kuleana. Remember we saw that? It was a completely Maui-based and made, produced film. And they used to have First Friday out here. How's it? My band played right there on a stage. Used to be different storefront. We played in front of a couple hundred people, and they block off this whole street, and all the art galleries and shops are open, and there's tents and crafts and food, and it's like a big party. We're headed into the Wailuku Coffee Company. I don't know if they still do it, but my band Mobius Project at the time played open mic here. So we're at the Queen of Hearts Tattoo, where my old friend Francine works. It was a total serendipitous kind of thing, because we weren't even thinking about tattoos here, but then we saw a tattoo parlor down in Kihei, and we were like, oh yeah, we should get matching tattoos, because we're on a honeymoon and we're adorable. So we just Googled it, and then Francine's name came up, and gave her a call, and now we're here doing some honeymoon mutual, matching tattoos for our 808 wedding, but also this Selkie tattoo that I've wanted to get for forever. Some iteration of it, it's you'll see, it's a conglomeration of the Hawaiian monk seal experiences that I've had, and my love for Maui and Hawaii and seals and Selkies and Selkie folklore. It's all coming together, but also representative of the life changes and the positive, constructive stuff that I've been going through. So I'm really excited that it's happening in a personal place with somebody that I know and trust and is an amazing artist. Headed back down into Paia town on the North Shore. So this is the road to Hana. Hana's 50 some miles that way. And we were just discussing that Paia being the only through road and through town to Hana, and Hana being so popular internationally, it makes this bottleneck. Poor Paia wasn't never meant for all this traffic. but at least they're getting a lot of good economy here. It seems like they're booming right now. So here's like kind of the main strip of Paia town. Across the street there in the blue, that's the fish market, Paia Fish Market. They've expanded since I've been here. They have like 3 locations now, but this is the OG. We used to come here all the time after surfing down to the bay. This is locally known as the Point. It's a point just past Paia town on the north shore. But it's on this little cliff right here. And there's this little drop off. You can go chill out. I used to come up here to think and just be at peace with things. This little rocky beach down below. 10 years ago, this land over here was open and wasn't all overgrown and didn't have this fence, so they must have blocked this off. But at least it's still here. But I don't remember this path being here to go down, so that might be new. I don't see any turtles or honus today, but the water's pretty rough, so might be hanging out down below. Oh yeah, and this is what I'm going to be getting into soon, hopefully. Kite surfing. Whoa. I know we can get higher than we imagine. We got the right stuff for us to both be free. Look deep within the inner you and me. We got to stay on the right track so we can just stay high, stay high, stay high. Keep on moving that direction. Find ourselves a new dimension. Reach a higher elevation. All right, here we go. We're at Paia Bay for the first time, well, her first time, my first time in 10 years. Really doesn't look different at all. You can hear the ocean. This is always my favorite part of the island for some reason. Just spoke to me. The North Shore. Let's go see how it looks. Still here. Just as gorgeous as I remember. What's special about this?
It's swirly.
Looking over Haleakala over there. So it's our last day here for now, for this trip. And we're gonna go out and do a little Kihei nostalgia. I'm gonna show her some of the places that I used to live and work and play. Let's go see what's the same and what's different from 10 years ago.
Kihei today.
So we're in South Kihei, and these flood tunnels, or whatever they're called, were used like in every band photo shoot and music video at the time. Alright, I found it. This was the first house that I lived in when I moved here in 2009. It's on Liaholo Place, in this cute little cul-de-sac. And it looks like exactly the same. Oh my gosh, it looks like they filled in the, so over here, down at the lower right hand side, there was a wood shop, and that was where my band practiced at the time. There's a little lanai up there. My bedroom was that one with that unit in it now. There's like this little porch down here. I would come out and sunbathe on when the sun would hit it at the right time. But it was so pretty with like the palms and the plumeria. I don't know what you call the difference between these things, but I guess that's the lanai or the porch. It's hard to see behind the tree, but it was really nice. We could just go out there and like eat and watch the sunset. And then up here at the top, you can see, I don't know if looks like there's some solar stuff now, but there was an opening in the roof, and we would go up on the roof and watch the sunset over there, out over the ocean. This is Lapoa Plaza, and this is where I used to work. So they converted, I think it was like an old nightclub or bar in here, and this is where the 7th and 8th grade were in this area right here, and then we shared 4 classrooms and rotated through them, and then the 6th grade was in that building over there. There was a Mexican restaurant that was really good. It was right here, and they catered a lot of our lunches. And then Valley Isle Fitness was there. That was where I got my gym membership. And this is where the computer lab was. You can see the tables are still there, but we have the computers lined up. And that's where I did a lot of the magic, all the photoshopping and video editing and all the STEM stuff at the time. And in this building, it's hard to see, but this is where there was like an open space, and we used it as a classroom, but then it was also used for like morning gatherings and dances. So it's like the big open space, and there's like this kind of like balcony area up there that had a temporary wall or one of those, you could close it, and we would use it as a classroom too, but then we'd open it. The dances were fun because there was like a stage up here, and the kids would all be in the dance, and I was DJ Gryffindor with my robes and my time turner, and I was somehow I don't know why I got tagged to be the DJ. This is the 6th grade building. It was the 6th grade building in the main office. It used to be a really cool saltwater fish tank right there. We had I think there was an eel in it and a lot of urchins. That's really cool. The coolest part about the school was back here in the back lot. We had a big open garden and a tent area for lunch. We bring the kids out. So back here was where we had a tent over here and tables to eat lunch, and then we had these raised beds over there. We grew like papaya and bananas, and we also had chickens. The kids would chase the chickens around during lunch. It was very entertaining. So apparently this is where Kihei Charter relocated, just up the hill on the other side of the Pi'ilani Highway. I didn't even know all this stuff was here. So this is the second house that I lived in with the band, and it's connected to this church. It's a little one-room chapel. We'd hear the ukulele music playing from our open windows on Sunday mornings, and they would do the hula. And that's like their kind of recreation community center over there, and then attached to it is this former pastor's house. The garage right there is where we used to have band practice, and from the front porch we could see the whales over in our front yard ocean, and we had palm trees, coconuts that I was too ignorant of the possibility to just eat them at the time, but now I would have gotten all about that. My room was right there. I could hear the ocean every night. Of course, you couldn't close the windows because it would just be too hot, and no AC. Oh, and there's of course there's chickens. There's always chickens around. The only downside to living here was there was a rooster in the backyard that would wake us up every night at like 2 or 3 in the morning and crow like all day. That thing was just a nightmare. were here the other night and we saw shooting stars right out there.
Taken by a daydream. So real, but it's fleeting.
Sugar Beach during the evening. It's the Kihei Canoe Club where people paddle outrigger canoes just like the ancient Hawaiians did.
Thinking how it could be, it swallows me whole. Some days you're the brightest.
Going out for our last walk on the beach for now. Until we come again. Looks like it's raining down in Wailea or McKenna.
Light on the horizon. But then you fade out, swallow me whole.
I think we're gonna walk down Cam 2. Maybe go check out the tide pools at the end down there.
I'm sinking anyway. Swallow me whole. I'm sinking anyway.
So we're flying out in a couple hours. Just enjoying our last little bit of time here. It's been so unexpectedly cathartic and wonderful to come back. Should have expected that the aloha of the islands wouldn't let me down. We'll be back soon.